Vietnam, 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 Vietnam. The telegram read, Mrs. Brown, your son is dead. Vietnam, 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 Vietnam. Oh yeah, Conde Keogh's brother, Martin J. Keogh, got killed by a mortar in Vietnam, and Chuck Harris were walking through to class in Archbishop Stepinac High School in White Plains, New York, where John Voight went to, and Alan Alda even. And Chuck goes, hey, did you hear about Conde's brother? Hey, Barney, you hear about Conde's brother? I go, no, man. Got killed in Vietnam. I go, oh, man. So, but anyway, I was going to say Conde Keogh always used to sing in Harbor Island. We'd be walking in like 1965 or 6, I don't know, man. We'd play hide the stick with like Mary McQuaid and all them girls, you know. I mean, our Stingray bicycles. Mike Dunn, me and Mike Dunn, Jack Christie, Rick Tucci, Conde Keogh, Gene Leddy. And Conde would always sing that song by Country Joe and the Fish, which was a real big Vietnam War song in that era. It was called and it's 1, 2, 3, what are we fighting for? Golly, it's Vietnam, and it's going to be your first one on the block, and come on home and his own brother was actually, man, and then me and all my friends in Larchmont, we got suspended for going to Conde Keogh's brother's funeral in St. John and Paul, and I remember Conde was really crying like a baby coming up the aisle, and Father Mansell gave a real like speech of war and Vietnam, Vietnam. Oh, so then my father's sitting on the stairs. Oh, well, this is what happened, see. They had the Vietnam War. Wait a minute. A short history of the Vietnam War draft lottery by B-52Jr. The Vietnam War had 3 stages: invasion, attack, and then, so I had to fill out my draft papers for Vietnam, and then I did it, and then, guess what? The Grateful Dead were playing that night in Portchester at the Capitol Theater, not far from where we lived in Larchmont in Portchester, and they played Ripple. They said the best Ripple ever, and the very last ever song they did was called, that night was Easy Wind by Pigpen. Easy wind, blowing close by you today, dum bum 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 bum. And they also came up with 5 new songs that week in Portchester in Capitol Theater, including Bird Song, about Janis Joplin, and I think other ones too. And anyway, my brother is there. He died, hanged that night. It was Sunday night, and I was filling out my draft papers in my room, where normally I would be playing with my brother Andrew. My brother Andy was my old best friend, and my dog Dow, our English Springer Spaniel, and we'd all sleep in my bed together every night. I call them bed bugs. Even Sister Marie Joanne in St. John and Paul liked my composition, Bed Bug. The bed bug is a little brother who sleeps in your bed every night. And Dow would crush our feet. So I would have to move my feet, and then poor Dow would have to kind of slursh off the bed, but she'd go up on the couch. So. But anyway, Andy, I would always play with him, you know. So no, I have to fill out my draft papers. So I fill out my draft papers. I'm sitting in my room. So this is what happens. I go outside my room. The door's open. And I walk over to the left to go to the bathroom. And Andy had took a bath that night too. It was a Sunday night. And I remember he was like thinking how pure white, you know, because red hair and all, and beautiful kind of person. And then my brother Matt was taking a bath upstairs on the 3rd floor, and Andy was bugging him. So he's like, so then Matt goes, hey, and so then Andy's like, must have been playing on the stairs, and there was a scarf, a long green scarf from the hippies. My brother Danny was like a hippies in Mamaroneck, and so it was like a ruby scarf, and we had rope up there and stuff. So anyway, Andy was put the scarf around his neck, and then anyway, I walk outside my room from filling out my draft papers for the Vietnam War, shall we say. And then I walk to the left to go to the bathroom automatically. I'm going to go out to the left. And then, but then I see from the corner of my eye, and I see my brother hanging, shall we say. But from the corner of my eye, and I go, well, Andy is playing, he's pretending. That's what I thought first. And then it's like a split second of eternity, shall we say. And then I go, oh. And either I saw his feet were above the stairs, and his face was blue, and his hair was red, tilted his head, and his pajamas, light blue pajamas, he had peed a little. So I'm not sure what I saw first. Leaping, leap, leaping, leap, leap, leaped, leapt, I leaped. One fell swoop. I grabbed him around my arms, undid the scarfy. Ma! I yell. Oh, my mama cried. I blew in Andy's mouth. I think my mama thought, oh, come now. Gurgling. I thought that was good, but that was my breath. The cop cried too. He tried, but he cried. Then for weeks, because I got expelled from Stepinac. And all my friends got suspended for going to Andy's funeral too. Me and Conde Keogh each got suspended for going to each other brother's funeral from Vietnam. As you see, the Vietnam War draft lottery was not quite a success. And I would pass that cop on the corner of Weaver Street at Dillon Park where Andy played. And they planted a cherry tree there with Andy's Jackson Durning on it. And me and Peter Appleson went there like 15 years later and took a sprig and went to Harbor Island. And that cop, and I would come home every day and play Cream, live Cream, up on the top floor in my brother Danny's room that year, 1971. And they had the Winter Soldiers investigation. And I thought, in the bleakness, I thought that cold winter, there's something like hope or something. But then, so then that year, when I was 18 in 71, I guess, I don't really know what it was. On my 18th birthday, I went to Capitol Theater and saw Derek and the Dominoes from the 3rd row. And Clapton was right in front of us. But what year was my number? And my friend Tommy McAuliffe calls me up and he goes, hey, Junior, when's your birthday? And I go, oh, December 5th. And he goes, ooh, you're lucky, man, because December 4th was number 1. So that's the history of, and my number, draft lottery number, was like 280, so I didn't have to go to Vietnam. Vietnam. But anyway, that is the history of the Vietnam War draft lottery. And my father was sitting on the stairs, like in Gardens of Stone, with his hand on the balustrade, and he said, nothing's easy, but what the hell is? All drunk. So, when my poor World War II tank commander father went wild in Florida after years after, I never did blame him because I knew his heart. Oh, and the only thing my father kept in his dresser drawer for all eternity, for 30 years in Florida, in my mother's pink dresser, my father got one drawer. And he had a picture of his mother, and also Jody, my sister, when she was a baby, and with red hair, and a birthday card from Andy to my father. And it said, to the nest farther, love, ADNY. Because Andy was left-handed and he would write his name ADNY. And that my father kept in his heart always. And my mother too. But that's another story. This is just a short history of the Vietnam War draft lottery, including Agent Orange, 1962 to 1971, and Ajax, my brother, likewise, I'm sure.